Welcome to my final demonstration video for Comp 2406 of fall 2023. This will be demoing the final project which I have created, which is a sort of recipe app online cookbook sort of app. It has a variety of features which include getting or querying recipes from an API as well as storing them locally onto a database and then being able to retrieve them once again and display them in your personal cookbook. This has been created mainly through Express, as you can see through all the requires up here, and I've created a various other requests for HBS to render, session to handle authentication and such. And here's all the middleware setup and then the routing functions and the initialization of the server. I'm going to demo you quickly through my routes functions here, as it's a pretty long file as you've seen. But so as you can see in all of our GET requests here, I have the request.session, so it checks if a user is authenticated or not and whether to allow them into certain parts of the website. If I head down a little further, you can see that I have some API calls here, which are used to load content from the online service that I've used. And if I head down a little further, sorry, there it is. Here's the admin page I have, which has different levels where only if you're a specific level of user, you are permitted access to the page. And then looking further into some of my post request handlers, you can see in the login, I'm using database requests. So I'm requesting from my SQLite database to ask if a user has been registered previously or not. And then similarly for my register function, it asks if they're already a user or not and to insert them and register them as a new user and create any of the new database functionalities they need, such as a cookbook for a general user. And that should display all that I need there for now. We might be switching back in the future, but for now, let me switch over to my other page quick, and I will demonstrate the use of the app. All right, so I'm going to open up a terminal window here. I will just clear this quick, clear the terminal, and let's start up our server. So we can see on start of the server, it prompts us to head to a few pages. And quickly, I will just demonstrate a user attempting to access this website without being registered first. So let's head to the dashboard, for example. So if we head to the dashboard, you can see that, sorry, we can't get that because I spelt it incorrectly. We cannot get to dashboard because we are redirected to login instead. If I now log in with a account that does not exist here yet, let's say Jeff, and we'll just put in a secure password, we can see that we have invalid login credentials. That won't be allowed. So we can create this account. But first, let's demonstrate some of the use cases of my app. So let's head to Bob here quick, as Bob has a fairly substantial cookbook that he's created. I typed that wrong. All right, so now that we're on Bob's page, we can see that there's two options here. We can view his cookbooks. So we'll head into this, and you can see that he has saved a good number of cookbooks, and we can look at the variety of them. We look at the nachos. We get our nice page here displayed with all the ingredients and the instructions on how to cook this dish. We can head back here. You notice that all the navigation is done through our links, even though they are redirecting us to different pages. We can look at the pork smoked ribs, we get our image, and we have all of the ingredients as we like. So he has saved up a pretty good cookbook here. I'm going to log out quick and head over to our create new page since we didn't have our user before, but now let's create our user Jeff, re-entering the password, and perfect, we just created Jeff. We now have a new user. If we check Jeff's cookbook, it's empty. He has nothing saved beforehand as he's a new user. So I quickly jumped through the navigation there, but I jumped into the search recipe page here, and let's say we look for something like pie. That's what he's in the mood for today. We can find any recipe we like lemon pie. That looks pretty good. So we can save it to cookbook, and you see here that we get the recipe saved message. That's perfect. Let's head over here and let's search for tacos because those, let's go with a taco chicken crock pot for whatever reason. We get our instructions and everything. Let's save that to our cookbook. That's great. That's what we like to see. And maybe let's get one more. Let's just get a cake of some sort. So let's go with cake balls, our first response here. We can see our page is loaded up as we wanted, and we can save this recipe to our cookbook. Let's go back and let's demonstrate another use case here. Let's just say we went back to our pie page and we didn't realize it, but we thought the pie looked good again, and we go to save the recipe. Well, it's already been saved, so there's no creation of duplicates or anything. So we can head over to Jeff's cookbook, and you can see that all of the recipes we had just once saved are back there again. All right, let me demonstrate the final use case here. I just have to check it. Scroll up, and I'm going to grab our admin account that we have here. We'll log in as the admin. If I can get the password, there we are. Oh, I almost missed it. There we are. So we have our password, we have our admin login. If we log into the page, you can see that we have an extra page to visit that wasn't there before on other users. We can now visit the admin page, or Master Chef as I called it to fit with the theme of recipes and such whatnot. Okay, so the admin has the same functionality as before. He can do everything a normal user can. He just hasn't done anything. But he can also go to these different pages that a normal user would not have been able to access, as seen in the code. Let me flip back quick. As we see down here in the code, our normal admin, or our normal user here, would not have the required role in the code, and they would be forced to go back to the dashboard, I believe here. And it would also work similarly. They're sent back to the dashboard. If they're not even a registered user, then that would also send them back to the login page. So everything works in tandem there. All right, let's switch back to my other page quick. So back on our recipe page here, we can use this in a way that normal users can't. We can view every recipe that's ever been saved into our database. I have a few here that have been saved from our Steve or Bob account, and we can view any of these recipes. We can look at them as if it was in our cookbook, but we're the admin just accessing them all directly. And those are all perfect. However, we also have this page here where we can remove a user from the app if they are inactive or whatnot. And let's say Jeff has been inactive for a while, or he's violated some rules in whatever way, shape, or form. So we can also delete the user, and we can see now that there are 3 users and Jeff is no longer one of them. Of course, here there is no way to delete an admin level user. That is a foolish thing for an admin to be able to do. All right, I believe that wraps up my demonstration of the main functionality of my final project app. I call it ReciEasy because I thought that sounded interesting. All right, thank you very much.